Ladies and gentlemen, this is round. So let me tell you some of the things. As soon as I lost, I got to tell you, living here in the Philippines is a trip. The internet here, well, you pay full price every month. If they don't give you the service for 8 or 10 days during the course of the month, you still pay for that. If you try to get a discount because they didn't give you the service, here's what they do. You call up and say, we don't have any service here. They call up and tell you that they have a problem with the wiring or the main service. This happened to me last year. This isn't normal. This isn't locally this time frame. 8 days, no internet. So I want to get 25% of the money for that. I paid for the internet, no phone, no internet for 8 days. So I call up and I say, I didn't have internet for 8 days. Yes, sir. We know that. Hello, LaRue. Thank you for coming back. So I want to get discounted for 8 days, 25% of my bill. Yes, sir. They jerk you off for about an hour on the phone, transferring you from one department to the other. Each one asks the same stupid questions, even though they can see the screen from the previous person. Each one tells you the same thing. Hold on, we have to upgrade you to our next level supervisor. Total bullshit. What they're doing is they're screwing their employer, Globe or Smart, for time. They are going to tell you, sir, can we have your name? They know who you are when you pick up the damn phone because everything goes straight into their computer. It's their company. Sir, can we have your middle name? Sir, can we have your birthday? Dennis Adam, thank you for stop coming back. Sir, can we have your birthday? Yes, sir. Sir, can you tell us whether you pay cash or credit card? Well, what does that have to do with it? I didn't have service for 8 days. I want to be reimbursed. So we have to ask you these questions. Then these pieces of garbage from Globe. Then they ask you for the model number on your router. So wherever that is, you got to have the model number. You got to go get the router, take it off the shelf. And if it's where you can't get it, you have to hang up and call back because you'll have to get the router, take the numbers off. And how big are the numbers in the back? Not big enough to see without a magnifying glass. That's how small they are. I'm not kidding you. Okay, so now, sir, can we have your model number? You give them the model number. And, sir, can we have the serial number? Well, why do you need this shit? Your installer put the router in my house a month ago. Yes, sir, but we have to confirm. So you give them all that shit, and then they move you over to another supervisor. You think it's fun living here with this shit internet service that we have? It's not. The shit internet service and the shit phone system that they got, and the fact that they rob every single customer, every phone company rapes and pillages every customer by only giving you a load for a maximum of 7 days. And after that, you lose whatever money is in that not unused in a load. They rape and pillage you here. If you don't put 10 pesos into their system every 59 days, on the 60th day, you lose that phone number. You got to go out and buy a new SIM card and call up everybody that you have as a contact or text everybody that you have a new telephone number. They rape and pillage you here in every way possible with the phone system and the internet. So getting back. So now you finally get to a supervisor that can confirm that you're entitled to 8 days of free internet because your internet was off for 8 days. And they say, we'll put an order in for that, sir. But here's how this works. You will have to wait until you paid this month's bill for the freaking internet service that you didn't get. Once you pay that bill, so say you billed on the 1st, and say that you didn't have internet from the 1st to the 10th. Let's just make it easy. So you had 10 days, 30% of your internet you did not get, 33%. So you have to pay this month's bill in full. And then next month, after the billing cycle kicks over on the 1st, then you can call them up and ask them for the discount that they made note of that you didn't have internet for 10 days. Now, and they say you'll have to call back in 48 hours to confirm that we gave you the discount. So each time you're on the phone, it's 40 minutes to an hour. So you call back in 3 days, and they have no record of you ever calling, ever, and that you're going to get a discount. Then they tell you to go to the Globe store in Tag Malone. So then you wait there for an hour. And then you tell them that you didn't get your 30% off on your phone bill. And they say, yes, sir. We'll put the requisite in for your 33% discount. And you'll never get it. And it'll do this 2 or 3 times. Just because they can screw you, they will. The freaking phone company and the internet service here sucks. And now, every time, it lasted an hour, hour and a half, and then it goes off by itself. I didn't bang the table. I didn't hit the wires. I didn't do a damn thing. It just goes off. Louis Pagan Potts, welcome to the machine. I'm just talking about the shit internet service that we have. It's Gary Kennedy's birthday. I don't know if he's back. It was my birthday, Louis. I was 65 on Friday. Angel subbed a long time ago. Thank you for stopping by today, Angel. And I went scuba diving. I'm going to be putting up those videos this week of what I call real men, what they do on their birthday. Angel, the channel is about what I do here in the Philippines. And I went diving on Friday. I did 2 dives on Friday. And I did snorkeling, and I did some vlogs about the Philippines. So if that interests you, go take a look at those videos. And if it's something that you're not interested in and you want to watch the live stream, I've pretty much, this is the last time I'm going to turn this live stream on for today. I'm going to do something else. Okay, yeah, I have the dive boat and the dive instructor and the captain of the boat dancing on the dive boat, and what the dive boat in the Philippines looks like and what the beaches look like. So it's about, I'll take a walk, I'll do a vlog. That's a good question. I talk with some of the locals. I go into the stores. I just recently vlogged Luna Beach, Bohol, which was a thriving, absolutely thriving economy. You couldn't even get on what little beach was left after the storms. There wasn't room for a blanket. There wasn't room for a blanket. And now, of the 350 boats that were off the beach, there are 3 boats, no tourists, 4 people on the beach. Angel, no, I'm not going to explain. So what I believe is happening right now is I believe you're trolling me to get me off the topic of what I'm talking about. So if you want to learn about the dollar bill thing, I have 700 videos about the dollar bill. And that will be the last comment I retort for you. You're done. So you might as well just leave, because I'm not even going to acknowledge the fact that you exist anymore. You see me talking about one thing and you want to move me to another topic. That's bullshit. Take a walk, unsubscribe, adios. And you're just a troll anyway. So anybody that puts up 5 worthless comments in 5 seconds, okay, gone. Are you? Put user in timeout, remove, and remove. Gone. You're gone. Adios. That was a professional troll. The last comment was, I'm only 14 years old. So being that if I would have gotten upset, this is what a piece of shit does. And we know what piece of shit that was. We know what piece of shit that was. Had I cursed at that blogger, and then it would come on and say, I'm only 14, that piece of shit would have done a screenshot that I cursed a 15-year-old and then flagged the channel. That's what a piece of shit does. And we know exactly what piece of shit that was. That was a special kind of piece of shit. That was a piece of shit with arms and legs. That was a piece of shit who, when confronted in real life, doesn't have the manly attributes to back up a single word out of that piece of shit's mouth. That's the kind of piece of shit that was. All those comments to piss you off, to sidetrack you from your topic matter, then saying, get off the channel, waiting for me to say a curse word, and then says, oh, I'm only 14 years old. And as soon as I would have cursed, they would report that I'm cursing to a 14-year-old. That's the kind of piece of shit that in real life, Mr. Obama, and he told me this in person, that's the kind of piece of shit that Mr. Obama, my Mr. Obama doll, come on over here. Tell me what you would do to a piece of shit like that in real life, Mr. Obama. So tell me what you would do. I would backhand him. You would backhand that piece of shit. I would backhand him so much he would beg me for a front hand. So you would bitch slap him backwards. Is that correct? I would bitch slap him into tomorrow, Mr. Fazio. I hate trolls. Thank you, Mr. Obama. So that's what you got to watch out for. When you're doing a live stream, you got to watch out for some piece of shit that comes on, one question after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other, right away. And then that pisses you off. You curse at them and they say, I'm only 14 years old. They screenshot it, send it to YouTube. Piece of shit. Andrew, adios. Thank you, Andrew. Yes, the average number of trolls. And if somebody's not paying attention, that's just what a troll does. Now, it could have been one of two pieces of shit that were trolling me. Probably was one of two pieces of shit. Both of them have arms and legs. One probably has what it takes to confront a man-to-man confrontation. And the other one, we know for a fucking fact, we know by the finger, the fickle finger. We know for a fact that one does not have what it takes to confront another man face to face. We know that for a fact. And now everybody knows that for a fact. The worm finger. The worm finger. And the worm finger came out when confronted by a real man, the lesser so-called man curled up into a worm ball, got real small, and didn't want to take the challenge at hand because doesn't have the manly attributes to back up words that mouth writes like checks, but the bank can't cash. You remember that. You just remember that. So that's probably the piece of shit that came on and trolled me. So now, what were we talking about before I got so rudely interrupted by a troll? Oh, we were talking about the shit internet here. Oh, my God. So my Philippines disinterest in Cebu. He is such a coward in all areas of his life. You believe what a piece of shit. I don't know if this is the same person we're talking about. I heard a story. I didn't see the video, but I've heard it on two different shows already from very early this morning, like 1 o'clock in the morning. I went to bed at 7 o'clock because I went diving on my 65th birthday. I did a manly thing. I walked a half a kilometer backwards. Then I took one of the locals that would normally charge me for the ride a certain amount of money decided, because he knows I'll walk. I won't care. I'll walk to it on the beach. I don't give a shit. So he stopped and he goes, I'll give it to you till not half price. So I took the tricycle. Manly thing. I went scuba diving on my 65th birthday. None of that pussy cake eating, chocolate, cupcakes, chocolate, donuts, chocolate cake with macahillo sugar on it. None of that shit. I did manly stuff on my birthday. And I did walking backwards, because real men walk backwards, mofo. And I heard a story about a piece of shit. Now, I don't know what piece of shit it was, because I did not see the video, but I heard a piece of shit saying, because I went diving on my birthday, on my 65th birthday, and that guy, I don't, doesn't have the ability to do what I do, and he's jealous of me. He's actually, we know this for a fact. This is basic psychological projection. When you're jealous of somebody, you will talk about them all the time. And you will put them down, and you will defame them, you will slander them, you will malign their character, you will say this, that, and the other thing, but never to the face of the person. They'll never walk up to you, because they know from experience in life that would be a mistake. So they will never say this shit to your face. But I heard stories about a guy absolutely diminutive, trashing his wife on YouTube. And that same guy trashes a lot of women. I heard stories about this guy trashing his wife in an unbelievable manner. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to find out more about that story. And then I'm going to talk right now. I'm going to talk about what I'm going to do with that video. I'm going to send it to Warren Hunt. And he's going to send it to the Australian Cybercrimes Division as soon as I find out a real copy of the video. That's what's going to happen. And just to give them more substantiating that this guy is a woman hater and abuses women. He abused his wife in a way. Well, I don't have a sister, but if I had a sister and he said what he said on social media about to my sister, he wouldn't be doing social media for a while. He might have to learn sign language, because his social media of the blah, blah, blah bullshit and the tough guy shit, that's out the window. There'd be a temporary stop put on his social media if he said that about my sister. I got to tell you, that's the truth. I don't know how I would do it or how I would get it done, but I'd get it done. I would get his channel taken down. I would stay on YouTube for. I would stay on YouTube long form in his channel until I couldn't. I had to sleep, and then I'd only take naps until I got his channel down. I think that's a good idea, by the way. But that's what I would do. That guy, if that guy said that shit on social media to my mother or my girlfriend or my sister, oh my God. In fact, that might happen anyway. So that's going, when I get a copy of that video, that's going directly for the trashing that you did for your wife, so-called wife, whatever it is that you are with that person. For the trashing you did, I'm sending it to the Australian Cybercrimes Division as a character reference in Warren Hunt's documents. I'm just letting you know what I'm going to do. And you could send this video to whoever the fuck you want to send it to, too. I don't care. You have me mistaken for somebody else. So let me get back to my comments section. Joe Ala, hi Michael, hi all. Joe Alba. Hello, Joe Alba. Welcome to the machine. Okay, Warren says he saved me the trouble. So maybe you will send that video to me because I looked for it, but it was gone. Positive Mike. William Jenkins, I do know your name. Welcome to the machine. I remember last week you super chatted me. We thank you. This week we had a great birthday dive, and part of the birthday dive was paid for with your super chat. Thank you. Part of it was a good portion of it was paid with Gary's super chat a month ago, and I'll put Gary's super chat from today into the next adventure that I have. Thank you. Okay, Warren will send it now. So let's talk about this piece of garbage known as Mophead. Let's go to my notes because I haven't even done one note. Do you believe this? You believe this? I got up to page 1 of 7. So if you're going to make show notes, try to avoid doing magical thinking. So magical thinking, let's talk about magical thinking. Magical thinking is some guy thinking he's a tough guy and projecting that out against somebody who he wouldn't have what it takes to meet man on man, face to face, ever. It's never going to happen. And it's okay that it doesn't happen. But that's magical thinking. That you're going to do this and you're going to do that. And for a very long time, I got to hear this shit on YouTube. You're going to do this and you're going to do that. And when you had the opportunity, wormball. You wormballed it. Wormball. That's not a good thing to be, a wormball. Okay, so this is a public service announcement. During the lockdown, we know that people haven't used their credit cards so much. So now's a good time to see if it works. Thank you very much. And let's see, updates for tomorrow's live stream. Digger might get extradited to the United States. Mr. Obama's pressing charges against Digger for digging holes in the White House lawn and then digging a hole back to the Philippines. Digger has been all over the top and the bottom of the top of the flat earth. But Digger went to the White House to see what it was all about. And he came up on the White House lawn, and the secreting service, went after Digger. Digger went down, which I heard he does a lot. And then he came back up for air. And then he went down again into a hole. He dug another hole. And then he came back up for air. Then he was up for air for a little while, took a couple breaths, then Digger went down again. Digger was a bad digger, and he dug up the White House lawn, and then he came back to the Philippines. And Mr. Obama wants to have him extradited. So Mr. Obama, he filed charges with Interpol. After he conferred with the Australian Cybercrimes Unit and the American Cybercrimes Unit, and some American police departments where people were sent out on SWAT team-like raids to other people's houses for no apparent reason 7 times in the last 2 years. 7 times. So now there are affidavits from a particular police department in Australia that said that the 2 6-man SWAT teams and several police cars and dogs, I'm not sure about a helicopter, that were sent out for possible death threats from the Sutherland Police Department cost that department approximately $100,000. So now, in addition to Mr. Obama wanting to extradite a certain vlogger from the Philippines, the Sutherland Police Department also put in a requisite to have a certain blogger confiscated. Well, what they're going to do is they're going to bring him an invitation to come to Australia and pay the Australian government and the Sutherland Police Department for the cost of the 2 SWAT team raids when they came to a certain blogger's house. That's going to happen, maybe, maybe not. But right now, here's where that stands. The legal aspect of that is charges were filed. This is all real now. You can call up the Sutherland Police Department or the Australian Cybercrimes Unit. I think that documentation number was posted on YouTube about 5 weeks ago. That was when it was just with the Sutherland Police Department. But after that, it was Scotland Yard was notified and Interpol was notified. And Interpol got when the initial charges were filed and said it would be approximately 30 days before they were going to make a determination. So that determination, if it's going to be made, it'll be made possibly by the end of the week. Possibly. Could be a few more weeks because with the lockdown. So that's the truth. So now we have the United States government wants to say hello for different reasons than the Australian Cybercrimes and Sutherland Police Department. Immigration has taken a big interest in the last few weeks or so to find out why the person just won't leave, because the story is that the possibility exists that he's an overstayer for almost 1.5 years now. So 1.5 years of overstay would quantify you to put you into the sights of the immigration department, cited as a liar on the bottom of the flat earth. Jack Thompson confirms the earth is flat. So what we have to find out in next week's show is one of 4 or 5 possibly sentences that Digger 2.0 will be sentenced to. So the first option for Digger, probably a good option, prison. Digger, would you like to go life in prison? Ooh, ooh, he's cooing like a pigeon. That's a Warren Hunt expression. So you would like that? Ooh, I get to share a room. Oh, yeah, Digger, you get to share a room with Bubba. Ooh, ooh, he likes Bubba. So that would be one option, to put Digger in life in prison. Another one would be a vertical rope-a-dope. Oh, don't like that. And then, now this one I think Digger might enjoy more than the first 2. Electro-juicing. I'm going to show you how that's done in a minute. And electro-juicing would be the third option. Let me show you how electro-juicing, what it is and how it works. Okay. Electro-juicing is a process, and I got the equipment from a local hospital in the Philippines. This is an electro-juicing machine, and it can supply up to 200 amps of electric juicing. Okay, now electric juicing is different than life in prison, because electro-juicing for a very brief period of time will stimulate the senses. It'll make you vibrate like a vibrator, which I heard a lot of stories about that too, but we won't talk about that right now. So let me show you what an electro-juicing machine is, and how the archaic electro-juicing machines that they try to solve some of the psychological problems in people in the Philippines with. This goes back to the invention of battery. This is a battery charger. This is a real battery charger. It's what they use in the hospitals here. They don't have the cups and the electroshock therapy machines. They use regular battery chargers. So let me bring that over here for your viewing pleasure. I tell you, it weighs about 50 pounds. So I'm not going to be able to hold it up too long, but I can hold it up. That's not a problem. which is something a real man, any real man right up until the very end should be able to pick up 50 pounds. And I've seen stories where, oh God, oh God, and what a bunch of crybabies we have here. So this cord, this green cord, will go to the initiation of the electric for the electroshock therapy machine. That's why it's here. I thought we were going to get enough super chat to do electroshock therapy, but I put a limit at $100. So I'm looking for $500 to do electroshock therapy on Digger, at which point I will insert the bolt into the side of his head and out the other side, like Henry Frankenstein's monster in Mary Shelley's Frankenstein story. We will put the bolt through Digger's head, come out both sides like that, like this. And then we will electrocute Digger if we get $500 in next week's live stream. This isn't e-begging. This is so that I had the equipment from the hospital, take everybody out to lunch, and I have to bring the equipment back. So this is just basically paying me for my time, because my time is worth money. So let's go back over here. And let me show you the apparatus that distributes the juice, first of all. Digger, come over. So what's going to happen is the juice, it comes into one of these alligator clips right here. One of these clips right here. And the other clip is going to go on the other side like this. All right. You got these two alligator clips, and you got to remember, through his neck is going to be a big bolt. I might electrocute him just for the hell of it next week anyway. So there's going to be a big bolt through it, and we're going to give him a little bit of juice at a time. Now, how does that happen? This is going to be next week's show. If Interpol comes what they believe was going to be possible, we might perform some electroshock therapy in preparation for the trip to Australia. Even though that's a free trip, not only does Digger might get a free trip to Australia, he's going to possibly have a little bit of jewelry. They call it jewelry. Little jewelry placed on his wrists. That's right, baby. That's a possibility, according to what the last report from Interpol was. So here is the electroshock therapy machines. I'll be holding this up. Weighs 50 pounds. See, it's being held up. And here is the amperage rating from 2 to 200 amps. Getting a little heavy now. And that you can adjust that with the dial at the top right there. Dial it in. Dial it up. Yep. I got to put this down. I got a bad grip on this. Anyway, I can still pick up 50 pounds and hold it away from my chest. Yeah, baby. So, yeah, that's what an electroshock therapy machine is in the Philippines. It's cables, battery. Basically, it's just a big battery charger up to 200 cold cranking amps. And Digger, when he heard the word electro juicing, well, you can see from Digger's profile, he likes juice. In fact, he was telling me before the show that he likes a lot of juice. The juice too. He goes, well, the juice can be used for multiple things. It has sugar in it for energy. It also quenches his thirst for juice, and also it stimulates him. There's something about the juice itself, or some of the byproducts that are mixed in with the juice, that stimulates Digger. I mean, he's a very sensitive fella, Digger. And Digger likes his juice. Let's just put it like that. And he doesn't care where he gets his juice from. So if he gets the little bit of electroshock juicing, he's gonna like it. He's gonna like roommates, And he might even like the free flight to Australia. Because right now, there's $100,000 in wasted energy in sending out SWAT teams that he might be responsible for. I can't say that for sure, but there might be $100,000 that wants to be, paid back. So that's the truth. You could ask Warren H. if that's true. He'll confirm. So right now, Warren is waiting for confirmation. I am waiting for the White House to Mr. Obama to confirm that the secreting service wants an interview with Digger. I mean, he's a very, very wanted individual for his talents to spew hate against women. Do you know how many women he has been documented talking about? All the women, every woman he's ever met, he has talked shit about. Every woman, every one. There is none that he has not, ever. Jack Thompson nailed that shit about 2 months ago. He said, Digger hates women. Jack was right, man. Jack was right. Jack was 100% right. There is no woman on social media that Digger has gotten along with. Every single one of them. I have notes. Let me get to my notes. Let me get to. This is going to be good. Hang in there, folks. Where's my glasses? Hey, here they are, right here. This is going to be good. Hang in there, baby. William Jenkins. Don't worry about it. What I say, if I say something is true, William, it's true. So, and I say it's true. Digger the doll has been naughty. You have a very naughty doll, William. Anyway, Digger 2, sentenced to life in prison, ? Vertical rope-a-dope, ? Electro-juicing, ? Or no super chat for you. Ha, 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 ? And let's move over to the things that we call egregious statements made on YouTube over the last 5 years. Let's just talk about some of those things as soon as I get my mouse back here. Let's talk about this. This show is purely for comedy purposes. No dolls have been injured. No dolls will be injured with the electroshock therapy. The show takes place on the bottom of the top of the bottom of the flat earth. Digging holes is in a no-digging zone are the charges against Digger from the White House, from Mr. Obama's staff, on the top of the bottom of the flat earth, and the secreting service wants a personal interview with Digger. In addition, for the following egregious statements, calling people fat. Digger has a propensity to call people fat. Now, I did hear a story this week why Digger calls people fat, but I can't repeat that on YouTube. But I got to tell you, the story came, well, let's see, it would be firsthand. It wasn't firsthand, and it wasn't secondhand, and it wasn't third hand. It came fourth hand. So the first person told the story on a show, which the second person confirmed on a show. So that's the second person. And then a friend of mine conferred that show to me, copied it and sent it to me. And that's the third person. So first person, then the second person on the show, then the third. So it's three parties back. So the story goes, why this Digger guy over here, this little Digger, the one that digs these holes he can't get out of, that won't be able to get out of, by the way, calling people fat. Well, the first person, who I won't name, but I will tell you would know better than anybody else in the whole world why Digger calls people fat. I can't say why, but that person told the story to another guy who told the story to my friend who told me, and now I'm telling you. So it's the fourth person again. He has in the back of his mind, I almost said in the back of his throat, in the back of his mind, something that happened a long time ago with a fat person. And I don't know if it's true, so I won't state it. Now, also, Digger has a propensity to call the police on innocent people, sending police to their houses, places of business, and or offices where they work with false police reports. That has happened, or no, 6 times in the last 2 years. Or no means 6 in Visayas. Digger has a propensity to call people insane and stating they belong in mental institutions. And what Digger's mistake is Digger used the first, middle, and last name of that person in not 1, but 2 separate videos, separated by several months, and then parts of those statements in multiple other videos, separated by weeks sometimes. And the mistake that was made was he used the first, middle, and last name and called a certain person insane. Insane. Well, I mean, if you got that kind of information, why don't you do something with that piece of information? I'm serious. I would say that if you have information that somebody is insane, I would send that shit out to every authority possible. But what happens is Digger, who has a propensity for stupidity, he puts people's first and middle names and their channel names. And not only that, he gets right up in your face on camera and says this shit. Man, go figure. So what I got to do is I got to do another real man thing. I took not really a full bottle. I hate to do this. All right, well, it's not a full bottle, but I'm thirsty. See the water? Right up to this line here. I'm going to drink this bad boy slow. Because real men don't sip their water. Real men drink water by the bottle. Real men own tools. Real men walk backwards. Real men don't give a flying shit, to most part, what people say on YouTube. Real men want to see you say that shit to another real man's face, whoever that would be. You have, apparently, Digger, you, some people, take Mophead, for example. He's got problems with everybody on YouTube, right? Mophead does. Mophead. Now I'm going to be serious for about 90 seconds. I'm going back to my comedy routine. You have abused, I'm not real sure. I think I've watched most of your videos, but not all. But you have abused to a high degree, Mophead. You have abused approximately 100 people. Somewhere about that. And or their channel, their girlfriend, their wives, their family, something about 100 people. Now, you, Mophead, considering that you were in the service, I want you to think about this for a minute. Let's just go out on a limb here. And you were in the service. We thank you for your service. But let's just go out on a limb here and say that one of those bloggers that you have pissed off or said something really egregious to, this is a hypothetical, Mophead. I want you to listen carefully. hypothetically speaking, one, if not more, of those bloggers, let's just say that the possibility exists that they were Navy SEAL combat trained and they did multiple tours in the service because they liked practicing their skill sets. Okay, so you understand what I just said. I'm not going to repeat it, but I will just say that some people in the YouTube community might be Navy SEALs trained with certain skill sets, which are basically all skill sets as a Navy SEAL. And you might have pissed them off. Now, I'm being serious about this. How do you know if you pissed off somebody that has special skill sets that they enjoy using? How do you know that you haven't done that? I don't know that you've done it or not done it. But just how do you know that you haven't done it? How do you know that you're calling somebody's wife or girlfriend this, that, or the other thing? How do you know that they don't have certain skill sets that they want and need a reason to practice again, even though they may be out of the service for 10 years or 20 years? They just want to check to see that that shit still works. How do you know that you haven't pissed somebody off that wants to say, well, I remember this used to work, but let's see if it still works. How do you know you haven't pissed somebody off like that? Now, I'm not being an asshole. I'm telling you a story. You don't, unless you know everybody and every detail of everybody, to call people out on the internet, to call people's wives, girlfriends, children, shit like that, to call them names that you do, I would think that you're putting yourself in some sort of jeopardy. I don't know for a fact, but I would think that. I just did you a big favor. You don't know it, but I did that for you. I don't like you, but I also don't think that you're a stupid man. I think you do stupid shit, though. And that is something that could, if you just do it to the wrong person, you won't ever know what it is. And you were in the military service, and you were a rifleman. You may have even been trained, as a sniper. But either way, last thing, you don't need all that kind of artillery and shit like that to make your point. You know that better than anybody else. And you freaking keep pissing people off. You're going to, just a question of odds. I think that Mophead will just piss somebody off one day, and they will gladly see if their skill sets still work. William Jenkins, Mike, I want the cord. Yeah, this. Let me tell you something, William. This is a good cord. It has the light inside the both sides. See the light? The plug is on now. Plug is on. Now that orange light will go off. Off, on, off, on, off, on. This is a very expensive cord, William. You can have it for the right price, but you better start super chatting. You better get serious about that. So that is a nice cord. Thank you. And that's natural rubber. I've had it 10 years. There's a nick in it. It wasn't from me. And nobody knew who made the nick. So everybody got fired that day. Okay, Digger can take up to 250,000 volts before his shoes will smoke. And talking about 250,000, Mophead, you just don't stop with that bullshit. I got to tell you, You make the same kind of assumptions that your worthless hero makes. I don't know. I think it's wrong. No, Digger is not a squatter, but he can be. He could be. So let's go back to my notes. Digger could be a lot of things. Digger changes his personality from day to day. Sometimes Digger's personality changes from one meal to the next. Sometimes Digger's personality changes in minutes. Let me tell you something about Digger. He likes his sugar products, right? And sugar gives you a sugar high, and depending on whether or not the sugar is a sugar high or a sugar low, Digger's personality changes accordingly. Now, at no point does Digger have a personality that anybody enjoys other than to make fun of Digger. So let's just make sure that if there's any laughter, they're laughing at Digger. They're never laughing with Digger. And proof of that is that Digger has he has what is called one of those Western Union accounts, or not Western Union, PayPal account. Digger got a PayPal account, and nobody's ever sent them any money. Well, about 4 months ago, somebody sent them $10. But I gotta tell you, when the guy sent the $10, it was a troll account. So what I think happens is, now I miss a lot of Digger's work on social media, but what I think happens is that somebody owes Digger money, small amount of money, and that each month they have to deposit money into Digger's PayPal account. But I think Digger tells them to give me 10% of that money that you owe me in Super Chat, so it doesn't look like nobody Super Chats me ever. That's the kind of guy Digger is. So he'll lose 30% on Super Chat or PayPal because he has to pay for the money, and the guy has to pay for the money. He'll lose the PayPal expenses, and but I haven't seen any Super Chat at all in almost 5 or 6 months on Digger's social media account, because people don't like Digger. People like me. I'll tell you, a lot of people like me. Some people don't like me, but the people that don't like me, nobody likes them. So that it makes us kind of even, but not quite. Not quite. Digger will never, ever, 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 ever be able to shine my shoes. Not in anything that Digger does. Except Digger has one attribute. He is an idiot savant when it comes to certain things. He does have one characteristical attribute that I would say could quantify him as an idiot savant, and we'll leave it at that. Now, Digger also has a propensity to call female bloggers drug addicts, junkies, by name, call them liars by name, call them the not prostitutes. Well, he did call some people prostitutes a long time ago, but I think the word whore was used, WHORE. I think that was used in his lexicon towards several female bloggers. I think that word was used several times, sometimes several times in each venue. Digger has a propensity for doxing people. Digger has a propensity to sending people's neighbors emails and talking shit about the people in the email. And Digger is not too bright. I told you, 42 IQ. Digger actually signed the email with his name from his email channel. And he signed his entire name on the email channel that he sent the email from. Digger's not too bright. Digger is digging holes that Digger might not be able to get out of. I got to tell you, that's the truth. Digger, he has a back door to get out of any predicament. He's got a little backdoor trap that he backs out of. That's where the walking backwards would come in handy for Digger. You could walk backwards, you could find a hole to crawl into, and then you can hide from the person you just pissed off. Find out Digger's fate. Next week, we're going to be voting on Digger's fate if Interpol comes back with the paperwork. And if they come back and they say nothing, Digger's okay, be another glitch in the system. We will add show notes to the comments next week. I'm going to put out a small semi-contract. I want to sell the concept of living on the bottom of the flat earth, and Digger and the gnomes and the anti-gravity boots, all that is there now on the bottom of the top of the bottom of the flat earth is owned by Vela Industries. But Vela said if I could send it out, I can own half the money that we get in, because Velma on YouTube last week asking me to post personal information about myself and to prove certain things. I don't need to prove anything to you. In fact, what I suggest is you come and ask me for those things in person, and maybe I will show them to you, but I'm not going to post it on social media. That's just stupid. To ask me to post personal information on social media, that's just stupid. Just come and, in person, see me and ask me for that information in person, and I might show it to you. I'm not going to let you take a picture of it or anything like that, but I'll information that you requested in person. But I don't think that you would do that anyway. But I mean, I don't know who would be stupid enough to show their social security number on YouTube, especially the fact that Digger has a propensity to dox everybody on YouTube. It's a fact. It's a fact, Jack. Okay, so I just want to let you know that I am Italian, and I don't live in Cebu, but that's how you pronounce Italian, E-Y-E, Italian. If you're doing blogs in the Philippines and you want to get somebody's attention, you say Italian. That's not how you really say it, but you could say it to get somebody's attention. So if I gave you my social security number or the number of my tax identification papers or my IRS paid statements, you'd like an Irish rat. That's different than an Italian rat. Irish rats are different. Irish rats have one color hair. Italian rats have different color hair. But it's not always a prerequisite to have a certain color hair to be a rat. Rat bastards are rat bastards. That's all. Jackson, the 5 slot. No, we can't say that. So bidding starts at $1 million for the bottom of the flat earth concept. I have a whole skit worked out for Jack Thompson being in a hotel with that's where he is. Well, that's where he was when I wrote this. Jack Thompson spent some time in a hotel about 2 weeks ago. And when he told me who he was in the hotel with, I'm going, are you freaking serious? And he said, yeah, he met a beautiful, very well-known actress that was in Boston doing a photo shoot, and Jack ended up being friends with her. And I don't know if anything ever came of that, but it's very fair. I mean, if I mention, I don't drop names on YouTube, but if Jack wants to post that stuff, he can post the name. He might even have he had a cell phone with him. He might even post a picture of him and that woman. I thought that was interesting. That was nice, Jack. Thank you for sharing that information. So she's about a 38 or 39-year-old woman. She looked like, from when I Googled a picture of her, I didn't see her age. Very pretty, and she's still doing photo shoots for different magazines. Let's see. Jack also has, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going there. I got something on the board. If I read that right now, what Jack Thompson made a mask out of, I would be, this channel, this live stream would get taken down if I read what was on the screen right now. I wrote it down. I was going to make a live stream with that, and then I thought about it. And no, you're not allowed to say that. But it had to do with, no, let's leave it. It had to do with women's apparel. Let's leave it at that. Now, Jack also did go bowling about 2 weeks ago, and Jack said the 10-pin gave him a problem. The number 10 pin. The 10-pin kept staying up, and I don't know. I don't know if the 10-pin's on the left-hand side of the bowling alley or the right-hand side of the bowling alley, but whatever the 10-pin is, I haven't bowled in probably 40 years. Whatever the 10-pin is, it kept staying up. But he did go bowling. I don't know why he went bowling, but probably it's something he enjoys. Then he said something about polishing a bowling ball. And I remember they sold compound and rags at the bowling alley. My mother was every Thursday night bowling, every Thursday night for 30 years. She was not very good. Well, she was better than me, that's for sure. But, I mean, she could bowl 130, 140, no problem. But Jack said something about he likes polishing bowling balls. So I don't know what he was talking about. Then he said, no, I'm not saying that. Me and Jack did these notes together, but I ain't throwing that shit up on my YouTube channel. We have video proof of all of the above, Jack says. And that's my show. I'm almost done. Yeah, Jack, how do we get these trolls? No, Benny Sanders. The internet here is garbage. It's my internet, Benny. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say thank you to everybody. I'm going to give a shout out to as many people as I can remember. So we have Benny Sanders. We have William Jenkins, who's a long-term friend of mine. Thank you for stopping by. The Philippines for us. Thank you and for stopping by. We have the Philippines Experience, Gary and Shah. Thank you for stopping by. We have Benny Sanders, Warren Hunt, William Jenkins. Always a pleasure. Thank you for your support, always. The newest member of my Patreon account. Okay, so here's what happened with my Patreon account. I'll tell you what's happening with that. I don't have a lot of Patreon members. And all my Patreon members have been my Patreon members for over a year to a year and a half, all of them. Now, I had 2 come and go in the last 2 months. My Patreon is not something they would be interested in. And that had an accumulated value of $15. I had 2 people come and go. And they did pay their money, and they stayed for 1.5 billing cycles, actually. And then they left. So we thank those people, Sarah Mason offhand, I forget the second person's name. He was only on for 2 months. But we got a new Patreon member this week that more than more than triples the loss from one new Patreon member and another Patreon member that makes up for that loss on top of one time, a little bit more than one time. So we have a very large, very generous man that just entered into my Patreon, and I sent him an email that I will call him or talk to him on the phone. We thank that gentleman, whose name I won't mention. We thank LaRue Seagrass for coming by. We thank Mr. Willis for all your support, Mr. Willis. Thank you. Let's see, without touching the screen, we have Princess Anne. Thank you for stopping by. Dennis Adams stopped by. Thank you, Dennis Adams. Oh, wow. This is 3 shows. I'm trying to think of who was there. What? Dennis Adams. Oh, Andrew Steinmetz. Thank you for stopping by. We had a few trolls. Gary Kennedy, I already said thank you for the Philippines experience. Let me go through this because this might take a while for me to think. Johnny Adriel, thank you. Long-term subscriber, thank you for stopping by. Let's see. Okay, we covered that. We covered Andrew. We have a new fella. My Philippines disinterest from Cebu. We had Louis Pagan Ponce. Thank you for stopping by. Dennis Adams, thank you for stopping by. And that's as far up. That's as far up the screen as I can go. So if there is somebody here that is a member of my Skype and you want me to call you, Mr. Willis, if you're a member and you have time, I'd be happy to say hello to you. I have been busy. I went swimming. See the color in my face. I did a couple of power walks backwards on the beach and not on the beach. I went diving. I've been busy. So if anybody wants me to call them, I'd be happy to put you on a 2 or 3 way call with myself and anybody else. Good night, William Jenkins. Thank you for your support in every way, even to come here and say hello. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to end this show. I want to say thank you. I want to talk to Mophead for a final, and I'm not being facetious. This is not a threat. What I am telling you is good advice. 2 things. 1, if you want to build up your channel, you're going to have to put better content on than hate speech. It's not going to work. You're going to get a certain amount of subscribers, and then it's going to stop. So now you won't make any money from AdSense. I don't think you'll get enough subscribers to get AdSense. So you're doing this for nothing. I will also tell you that you're going to get somewhere between just around 500 subscribers is the maximum anybody with a channel like yours ever got. That's number 1. And 2, you are saying some nasty shit, Mophead. You are saying some really nasty shit to a lot of people. And you don't really know. I know that you were a rifleman in the service. We thank you for your time in the service. I know you call yourself a troll, but there are some people out there that won't take it as being funny, and they won't say anything to you about that, and they won't ever mention that you said anything about them. But there are some people out there, and I don't know that this is true, but there are some people out there that don't care about your military service, and they don't care if you were the world's, Golden Glove champion or they have boxing, and in the Army, they don't care about any of that shit. They just don't care about that. They won't care about it. They won't say anything about it. But you might piss somebody off that won't care about all your skill sets, and they'll show you just one of theirs. It's just serious, Mophead. You do some shitty things to these people on YouTube. I'm not kidding you. There are some people out there in real life, and you know I'm telling you the truth, Mophead. You know I'm telling you the truth. You know you might be one of those bad boys. You might very well be one of those bad boys. So what happens when you're acting like a jerk on YouTube, pissing everybody off? What happens? You might, and you do that to another bad boy. What happens? Anything could happen. You just keep that in mind. You just keep, especially talking about people's wives or girlfriends. That is probably one of the worst. There are people that don't want to hear that shit, even if it's true. They don't want to hear it. Mophead, my suggestion to you is to put some content on YouTube, take a walk, and stop eating all that shit ass ice cream with all that sugar in it. It's no good for you. It's giving you mental problems. Not, psychological sugar high, sugar low, sugar high, sugar low. All that sugar is just not good for you, especially immediately or after you get that sugar high. That's just 2 scoops. You have to have 2 scoops, really? It's not good for you. But you have all the ice cream you want. And Digger got something for you, because I saw a lot of pimples on your face a couple of videos back. Digger got something that he's making for you. He's drinking his juice. He's mixing up the juice internally. And he's got mother of pearl drops. He wants to send you a load of mother of pearl drops. Digger does. He wants to send that to you. You know that the wrinkle we all have at a certain age, this wrinkle right here, you see that? He wants to drop some mother of pearl drops on that wrinkle for you to help you get rid of that wrinkle. And also whatever's left from the load that Digger got for you, he wants you to fill in on both sides of your lips all those pot marks, the pimple marks that you got from eating all that shit Bavarian ice cream. Delicious ice cream, but it gave you pimples. Jeez, you have a pimple over here, you got a pimple over here, you had a pimple over here, you had like 4 pimples here, 3 pimples there. You think the ice cream is really worth it so you could put it in a video to get like 11 pimples in one day? Why would you do that? That shit, pimples are telling you that shit doesn't agree with your system. Anyway, that's my advice to Mophead. And my advice to Mophead is to put some decent content. And my big advice to Mophead is that chandelier in that beautiful living room on that nice dining room setting that you had, that beautiful chandelier with the crystal, that's real. I know that. And I also know that's probably could date anywhere from, for Germany, could date back to the 1890s to the 1930s. I would like you to give me that chandelier. And then for you, I will give you a 3-minute shout out video for the chandelier or $1,100 in direct deposit to my account. So I will give you a 3-minute video for the chandelier. You pay shipping to the Philippines when that's possible. I don't know what you were in Germany, so that might not be your chandelier. But it was a beautiful chandelier. If you could figure out how to get that chandelier, maybe you could give the woman some money or the man some money, or maybe it's your family. Tell them that you have a friend on YouTube that you want to send that beautiful chandelier to. And once again, thank you for your service. Thank you for your service to your country. I appreciate that. Really, I do. So we're going to say goodbye. And all right, no one wants me to call them, so I will just be calling Warren Hunt. Thank you, everybody. Salamat. Umping Permy from Michael Fazio, Digger, and Mr. Obama. And remember, on the bottom of the flat earth, we wear what is known as anti-gravity boots. Anti-gravity boots. Let me show that to you again. Those are anti-gravity boots. Mr. Obama, you have anything to say to Digger? Mr. Obama, you bitch slapping Digger again? Oh my God. You don't like Digger. He said Digger's a coward. He was afraid to hit him back. Digger even got what Digger does when somebody goes after him is he digs a hole that he can't get out of. He digs the hole. He's a very good digger, very fast digger. Not so good for technical glitches. He makes your internet go off or bullshit. He's very big on the bullshit department. Very good. He takes his nice long snacks. Always snacking. Got all those beautiful foods. Digger, what do you think about Diggers? What? Again and again? Oh my God! I can feel Mr. Obama's projecting the bitch slapping he's giving Digger. Digger, you just wait a few more days. We should have that information back from Scotland Yard and Interpol and Mr. Obama. Mr. Obama might send the secreting service after you. That's right, baby. I'm being Permy from Michael Fazio, Digger, and Mr. Obama in the Philippines, baby. Bang a pot. We made a lot. We made over $300 today, folks. Thank you very much. Salamat. Ah, oh, ah, oh, ah, ah, oh, and money, 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 300. Money, 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 dollars in one day. Ah, oh, and money, 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 money. I'm being Permy, baby. Thank you, everybody. God bless. And we are now shutting down the show. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm being